So this section, I am not going to spend a lot of time on. You were golden on this when we did it earlier. But so you're adding and subtracting decimals. You line up the decimals, insert zeros where it's necessary, line up decimals, insert zeros, and add and subtract. So I would do 7.19 plus 3.54. And you were fine, 13, carry the 1, 7, and I get 10.73. Right? And so like on this one, 6.407 minus 2.192. I subtract, I get 5. I borrow. You were fine. 2.4. Boom. Done. Okay? And so this assignment is just asking you to do this. So, but these do get a little bit harder. So I would like to jump to number 9, please. So I probably didn't even need to print all this, but I just want to go over it. You were good at this. On number 9, I would strongly suggest doing it one at a time. So you can only add and subtract 2 things at a time. So I'm going to do 7.03 plus 11. So that would give me 3081, 18.03. Now that I have that answer, I'm going to take that answer and I am going to put it together with this minus. So I have 18.03 minus 2.518. Since there's an 8 out here, I've got to add a 0, right? And then you were good at this, but you've got to do it a step at a time. And this is the difference between grade school and junior high. These do get a little harder. So I borrow, and that's 10, 1. I borrow, and that's 5. Remember, you bring your decimal point down, 5, 1. So my answer is 15.512. Okay, I would like you to pause the video and I would like you to do number 10. Okay, on number 10, first do these 2. Do not try to do everything at once, and you got to do order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, so you're going to go from left to right. So you're going to do 16.142, and then you're minusing 15.7, and I'm just going to add zeros there. So that's a 2, that's a 4, borrow, and I get a 4, bring down the decimal, 0. So my answer is 0.442. So now I'm going to take this answer and I'm going to put it together with this. So I continue this problem on. So I'm going to do 0.442, and it doesn't matter which one you put on top because it's addition, but I'm just going to always do that one first because it's to the left. And then 6.82, I can add that zeros there. So 6, 12, carry the 1, bring down the decimal, and my answer is 7.262. Okay, so let's take a look at number 11. If song A is 4.02 minutes and song B is 3.8 minutes, how many more minutes is song A than B? So how many more? I'm going to subtract to see the difference. So 4.02 minus 3.8, and no, I do not. I would like you to do these by hand on these easy ones. When they get to be crazy ones, then you can pull out your calculator. Okay, so this is a 2. I'm going to borrow, and so it is 0.22 minutes. Okay, and I know you can pull out your calculator, but there are going to be reasons why you need to be able to do these without. Okay, Casey had $560.94 in his checking account. If he deposits... So if we look at this right here, if he deposits a check for this, we're adding it. And then he spends this on his lunch, so he's subtracting it. So I'm going to start with his $560.94, and I'm going to add his 96.18. Even though these are big numbers, like you're just 12, carry the 1, that's 11, carry the 1, bring down the decimal, 7, 5, carry the 1. I can do that. And there could be a time, and when I first started teaching, so I'm going off on my little side, I'm sorry. But like I would say things like, you can't walk around with a calculator all your life. Well, because that was like back then, like I had a bag phone. Like I didn't have a phone I held in my hand because I'm old. Okay. Well, now we pretty much all do walk around with a calculator. So I mean, when I say that, people roll their eyes at me. But you could. What if you're in the middle of the desert and you don't have your phone and you need to add 560.94 plus 96.18, right? It's just kind of a skill knowing how to add decimals. I personally think what I say now, 25 years later, is You want to be able to kind of do these in your heads, because when you're typing it in your phone, you maybe are doing a million things and you miss a decimal, and then you know whether your answer is right. So that's one of the big reasons I like kids to know how to do these by hand, because if I'm doing $6.57 and I'm spending $17 on lunch, okay, and this has happened to me before. If I spend $17 on lunch and then I look at my checking account later and I'm at like $200, obviously that person charged my card wrong, right? And so in my head, it's kind of good to be able to know where I am mathematically. So here I'm going to borrow and I get 12, that's a 7, that's a 0, put the decimal 0, 4, 6, so $640.07, not 200, that would be bad. I would like you to pause the video and I would like you to work these two. Okay, Earth is approximately 390.84 million miles closer to the sun than Jupiter. Jupiter is 483. So I know how far it is. So I'm going to write the sun here. I know how far it is to Earth. It's 390.84. And I know how far it is to Jupiter. It's 483.8. I want to know... Oh, wait, closer to the sun than Jupiter. That's no reason. Let me redraw this picture. I'm not starting this video over because I can't do this. You probably did it right. Okay, Earth, Sun, Jupiter. Sun, Earth, Jupiter. I do know this. I know from here to here is 483.8, correct? Okay, I know that Earth is approximately 390.84 million miles closer to the sun than Jupiter. So they're wording that really weird. I would never word it that way, but they're saying it's closer. So that means that this is 390.84. Okay, so they want to know the distance from the Earth to the sun, which is this distance right there. So I would take those two numbers and subtract them. So 483.8 minus 390. Can't even read it anymore. 390.84. Okay, I got to add a 0. I borrow, and that's 6. I borrow, and that's 9. 2, I borrow, and that is 9. So 92.96 million miles. Okay, I'm going to try to do better on this one. Jacksonville, Florida is 554 miles. So I'm going to have Jacksonville, Florida, and I have Charleston, West Virginia, and they are 554.58. Okay, Charleston is 217.8 miles from Cleveland. If the three cities lie in the same longitude, what is the distance from Jacksonville to Cleveland? Okay, I don't like this question because you don't understand that Cleveland is farther than Jacksonville and Charleston, West Virginia. Cleveland is past it. And so you're going to add them. So I apologize on this one. I think on this one, if I were to give this one to you on a test, I would give you the map that shows that the cities are on a line like this and Cleveland is the farthest. So you're going to take those two things and add them. 13, carry the 1. 12, carry the 1. 7, 7. So 772.38 miles.